Oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about this week. Welcome back to another Star Wars Rebels review, and I decided that this video will be uploaded every Wednesday, and if I don't have anything else to film, every Friday. Let's get started with this review. So we pick up from where we left off last episode, where Kanan and Ezra go, not Kanan and Ezra, that's probably going to be a, Kanan and Zeb go to rescue the Wookiees, and later we find out that there are no Wookiees. So that part of the writing story was pretty cool to see Hera and Ezra's relationship start to grow, and they are just, it's amazing just to see the relationship between Hera and Ezra actually start to grow. And so and then we get to see Ezra kind of go and get Kanan and Zeb and Sabine and Chopper the droid because apparently it's a trap. There are no Wookiees, but Kanan, Zeb, and Sabine and Chopper don't know that, and so it's a trap. And so Hera tells Ezra to go warn them. Now, we obviously haven't gotten the relationship between Ezra and Kanan. That relationship hasn't started to build yet. I think at the end of the episode it started to build a little bit, but it wasn't an official relationship in this episode. So for writing this week was pretty good. I think it was probably a lot better than last week's. Yeah, that's all I have to say about writing this week. I think they just did so much better, and I'm looking forward to see the relationship between Kanan and Ezra actually grow and just have a great relationship, and maybe even see Ezra actually become a Jedi. For the cast this week, Freddie Prinze Jr., he did a whole lot better this week because for his role as Kanan, he did better this week. I think he didn't force his lines so much as he did in the first episode, and he got more lines in this episode than he did in the first episode. I think it was more of him grunting and making noises more than he was actually saying words. And so I thought Freddie did a great job this week. For Taylor Gray, for Ezra, he had more lines this week as well, and he kind of he nailed it. And I think his irritation for when after Zeb, and I think his fear for when they're about to leave, Agent Kallus grabs him and Zeb kind of just ditches him. I thought he nailed it with his fear, and then I thought he did a really good job with his irritation and I think Freddie Prinze Jr. also, I think all of them pretty much nailed their irritation with Zeb after he kind of just ditched Ezra, and I thought that was kind of amusing to see the irritation. And when they finally go back to get him, when Steve Blum, he did an amazing job with his role as Zeb, and I think he did a little more. I think with Freddie, he kind of just nailed it, and he went above and beyond for his role, and I think, is a little more of irritation when Ezra keeps running off and just like he doesn't listen, and I think just his irritation was actually really good. Vanessa Marshall and Taya Sakar, they didn't have a big role this week either. They were just kind of, again, supporting characters, and the spotlight was more on Freddie Prinze and Taylor Gray, and maybe a little, and maybe they did have a few things for that, but other than that, that was, I think, the regulars nailed it. And then for David Oyelowo, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, for Agent Kallus, he really nailed it as his role as a just, he had a little more irritation as well because he couldn't, I mean, obviously Ezra had just met these guys. He didn't know much about them, and he just kind of, it was kind of irritating for all of them. So I thought that was pretty cool to see. And this is where Ezra actually gets to start building his relationship with everyone. And I think Hera is probably a relationship. I think Hera and Sabine with Ezra has become is more successful at this point of the story. Him with Zeb and Ezra, I mean Zeb and Kanan, we haven't seen any relationship building between that. So that's all I have to say about cast. For animation this week, we got to see, I think they nailed the animation, and of course it's Disney, and so their animation was flawless. I thought the animation for the Wookiees was really cool to see, but they nailed it. Special notes this week. We get to see Kanan activate his lightsaber for the first time in this episode, and that was pretty cool, and it was amazing to see that, and so that was pretty cool. And we get to find out what Zeb's full name is. Garazeb Orrelios. So that's pretty cool to see, find out what his real full name is, and they just call him Zeb for short. Special notes, besides seeing Kanan activate his lightsaber for the first time in the series, and Ezra's fascination with Kanan and the fact that he's a Jedi, and I don't even think Ezra knows at that point that he's a Jedi, because as we probably will see in later episodes, Ezra will probably begin his training as a Jedi, and we'll get to see a little more on that later. So yeah, and getting to see the Wookiees, I thought that it was pretty cool. For final thoughts this week, we get to see just how much Ezra really doesn't care about these guys. He has even said it himself, where he's like, I don't care about these guys don't care about me, we just want to go about our regular day, and just, I don't want anything to do with them. But I think we'll find out later that he probably does want to do something. We also got to see Kanan kind of save Ezra from Agent Kallus, and what it was, how they just, Ezra chased after a baby Wookiee because she got chased, or he, I don't know, they don't really have gender things with Wookiees, but with the baby Wookiee and Ezra chasing after it, it is a character development for Ezra, because he is not, you wouldn't, when we were first introduced to him, you wouldn't think that he was a much could care less kind of guy. But then we see him just be like defending the baby Wookiee and kind of just like protecting her, and I'm just gonna assume it's probably a girl, and just seeing him protect her. And then Agent Kallus, this is after Kanan revealed that he's a Jedi, and so Ezra, Kallus is like, hey, you know, he thinks that Ezra is Kanan's apprentice, and obviously there is no relationship to the Force with Ezra yet, so we don't know, and hopefully we'll see a little more of Agent Kallus and see what becomes of Ezra. And I don't know, we'll see. So Ezra, this is obviously still early in the series where Ezra's like, I work alone. I don't care. I work alone. I don't know where you, and to quote the show, I don't know where you get your delusions from, Buckethead. I work alone. And so Ezra, for him to have the nerve to actually say that to a Jedi, or say that to Kallus, was really cool. But Kanan kind of saved the day, and he was like, hey, not this time. And so that was really cool to see, and I thought this whole episode was really impressive, and the animation was flawless, and I'm looking forward to the next episode. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. So just stay tuned for Wednesday again, and maybe Friday, but I have another video coming out on Friday. So not this week, you probably can't expect to see one this week, but stay tuned to my Instagram to find out what's going on with YouTube videos. But yeah, and again, all rights go to Disney. Whatever I talked about in this video and whatever is in this video, all of the rights go to Disney. And go subscribe to MJ Knight. He is the one who inspired me to actually do this video, do these videos, and he actually does reviews for shows himself. And so I will link his channel in the description below, and make sure to go subscribe to him. He is amazing. And so hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.